Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Nordiana Abdul Halim and welcome to today's lecture on radioactive waste, a crucial topic under environmental pollution and monitoring. By the end of this session, you should be able to define and describe what is radiation. Second, you should be able to identify the sources of radioactive waste and understand the different types of radioactive waste. Let's begin with the basic. What is radiation? Radiation can be defined as a form of energy that travels through space. Radioactive occur when unstable elements decay in atom to regain stability. So during this process, they emit energy and particles. This is what we call ionizing radiation. There are three main types of radiation. The first one is called alpha radiation. Alpha radiation cannot penetrate to skin and can be blocked by paper. Second type of radiation is called beta radiation. Beta radiation can penetrate to our skin but can be stopped by glass or metal. And the last one is gamma radiation. Gamma radiation is the most dangerous. It can penetrate deeply and requires thick concrete to block. There are two types of sources for the radiation. The first one is natural sources and the second one is man-made sources. So for the natural sources, it can include cosmic rays from space. So these high energy particles, they will interact with the Earth's atmosphere and surface. So at higher altitude, radiation exposure is greater. This is why flight crews receive more exposure annually. Now let's take a look at one of the key natural sources of radiation, which is cosmic ray. First, cosmic radiation originates from outer space, constantly bombarding the Earth's atmosphere. So these high energy particles are part of our natural background radiation. Second, as these rays enter the atmosphere, what happens? They will interact with the air molecules and lead to the formation of short-lived radiation materials. Although temporary, they still contribute to the radiation exposure. Third, what happened to this cosmic ray? They are mostly high-energy protons and are considered extraterrestrial in origin. So they travel across the space from star, supernova, and even our own sun. The radiation dose increase with altitude. So if you are flying in an airplane or living in high land areas, you are actually exposed to more radiation compared to those at sea level. So when cosmic rays enter both atmosphere and hydrosphere, they form radioactive material that are eventually oxidized into common compounds like carbon dioxide and water. This diagram shows how natural radioactivity can enter our food chain. It all begins with radioactive element in soil and water, which can naturally occur due to the presence of isotopes like uranium, radon, and potassium-40. So from the soil, these radioactive materials are taken up by crops and plants. Animals like cows then eat these crops, leading to the transfer of radioactivity to animals. Humans in turn are exposed to this radiation when we consume crops and animals, completing the cycle. So in aquatic environment, the radioactive particle in water and sediments can be absorbed by fish. So when humans eat contaminated fish, they are also exposed to natural radiation. Human activity also contribute to the radiation. For example, like healthcare, the example that we are normally found is X-ray and radiology. Second, from the nuclear fallout, especially from weapon testing and from power generation, for example, like nuclear fuel and plant emission. So even small routine of emission from reactors can contribute, such as radioactive iodine or xenon. Next, the student should be able to know what is radioactive waste. What is radioactive waste? Radioactive waste can be defined to any material that contains radioactive substances and is no longer useful. It is harmful if not properly managed due to the ionizing radiation it emits. There are four main categories of radioactive waste. The first one is known as very low level waste, VLLW. Second one is low level waste, LLW. The third one is intermediate level waste, ILW. And the last one is high level waste, HLW. Very low level waste can be considered as the low level of radiation waste. The example like construction debris like concrete and bricks, which generally not harmful. Second type of radioactive waste is called low level waste. So the example is like glove, tools, and filter from the hospital and industry. So they are often incinerated or compacted. The third type of radioactive waste is called intermediate level waste. So this includes sludge and reactor decontamination waste, which require shielding. And last one is high level waste, which is extremely radioactive and mainly from spent nuclear fuel, which need to be cooled and need heavy shielding. Let's look at three real-world disasters. The first disaster which related to the radioactive waste is Mayak in Russia that happened in 1957. So this is one of the earliest major radioactive waste disaster. Second is Chernobyl in Ukraine in 1986. So this disaster caused by a reactor explosion, which leading to the long-term contamination. And the third example of case study is Fukushima, which happened in Japan in 2011. This disaster triggered by an earthquake and tsunami. So it released radioactive water and waste. To conclude, radioactive waste come from both natural and human-made sources. So it poses serious risk if mismanaged. So we must understand first what type of radioactive waste before we can handle and we can manage the waste. And we need to know their hazard first before we can do proper management. So the case study show the consequences of poor waste control. So we need to conduct self-handling, regulation, and public awareness, which are very essential for long-term safety. So these are the references used, and you may refer to them for further reading. You can access extra material through our resources page to explore this topic further. It includes short videos, readings, and activity to deepen your understanding. See you in the next session. Thank you.